everyone, welcome back. Previously, we learned how to install some tools that we need for Cardano on Mac, Brew tools, as well as the Glasgow Haskell compiler and Cabal. In this lecture, we're now ready to download and compile Cardano. Our first step is going to be to create a working folder to store the source code and builds for Cardano's components. So, inside of your terminal, we're going to create a new folder with the command mkdir make directory. The path is going to be in our home path, which means just to your root user. And we're going to create a folder called Cardano-source. Then we're going to enter that folder with cd, followed by, again, the $home, which means that is going to be your home path / Cardano-source. So enter in this command. I already have the folder, so I'm going to hit Control C because I've already created the folder. I don't want to create it twice, but I do want to enter the folder, so I'll copy the second part of the command. Just make sure I include the C there. Great, so now I'm inside of my folder Cardano-source, which you'll already be in as well if you used this command. So here we're going to store the source code and builds for Cardano's components. The first step is going to be to download, compile, and install libsodium. So I am going to paste the following command. Remember, you can find all these commands in the source files for this section. So you can copy and paste the commands. Here we're using git clone. We're using git to clone a GitHub repository. So we are going to take this repository at github.com/input-output-hk/libsodium, and we're cloning it. So we're creating a version of it on our computer. We're taking it from the web and we're putting it on our computer in a folder. Then we're entering the folder with the command cd. Then we're using git checkout, and we are going to auto-generate our autogen.sh file and a configure file. And we're going to install everything that's required for this package to work on our computer. So hit enter, and I get the message that my path already exists because I already have libsodium, but for you, the path will be created. So you'll be able to see that you'll get libsodium cloned from GitHub onto your computer. We also want to add environment variables to our shell profile once this is finished. Make sure also, if it asks you for your password, enter in your computer password. Okay, so now I'm inside of libsodium, we can see here, because I needed to enter the folder and then install all of its required tools. Okay, we want to add environment variables to our shell profile. So here I'm going to export LD library path with an environment variable, as well as the following export, the package config path. Remember, you can check your environment variables with Vim at any time and also add them in manually with Vim. If you do have the M1 Mac, you have to add LLVM, so make sure you have LLVM added as a path variable as well, which it should already be added. Next, we need to reload our shell profile to use the new variables. So to do that, you can either just open a new terminal window, or if you're on Bash, use the command source followed by $home, which refers to your home path, your users / your username. If you are on the Z shell, then instead of using bash, you're going to use zshrc. So you can hit enter, and that is going to reload your shell profile to use the new environment variables. Next, we want to go back to our root directory, and then inside of our Cardano source folder. So we're going to cd into our home folder followed by Cardano source. That's that folder that we built to hold our components of Cardano. Our next step is going to be to download the Cardano node repository. This is going to be the Cardano node tool, which allows you to run a Cardano node so you can clone the Cardano blockchain onto your terminal and have it running so you can interact with the Cardano blockchain via your own node on your terminal. So for that, we're going to use the following command, git clone. So we are using git to clone a repository. The repository is github.com/input-output-hk/cardano-node.git. Then we're going to enter that Cardano node folder, and we're going to use git fetch to fetch all of these submodules that we need. So we're going to hit enter. Now I get the message that I already have Cardano node, so I don't have to re-clone, but for you, you'll have the cloning happen, and you should now be in your Cardano-node folder in the terminal. If you get any error messages, read them carefully and search them up online. As well, you can go to the GitHub for whatever tool you're using and search up issues there. Next, we're going to switch our repository to the latest tagged commit of the Cardano node. For that, we use the following command, git checkout, and then we're using curl to access api.github.com/repositories, repos/input/output/hk/Cardano node/releases/latest. This means we're getting the latest tagged commit from the Cardano node GitHub. So we'll hit enter, and this will change the head. It will change your clone to the latest tagged commit. So make sure we have the latest version of Cardano node. Next, we want to explicitly use the GHC version that we installed earlier. Otherwise, there will be the default of a system version of GHC, but we want to configure Cabal with the command Cabal configure and a flag with compiler. So we are forcing GHC to use the compiler version 8.10.7. Otherwise, there will be a default to a system version, and that can cause conflicts. So I'm going to hit enter, and the Cabal will configure the GHC version. All right, and let's allow the dependencies to be resolved. Then, if you are on the M1 Mac, if you have a newer Mac computer that uses the M1 chip, you need to set in some more commands. And you can check your computer version at any time by going to the top left of your computer and checking your About This Mac. If you do have the M1 Mac, you have to add in the following commands to set some Cabal-related options before building. First, we're going to echo package trace dispatcher to cabal.project.local. Then we're going to echo GHC options warn to cabal.project.local and echo an empty string to cabal.project.local. This is going to configure some settings of Cabal for the M1 Mac. So hit enter, and that is going to set the options. Next, we're going to build and install the node. So we're going to use the following command, and note that this command takes a while to run. The command is cabal build all. This can take a bit of time to run, around half an hour for this command to build, perhaps around 15 to 30 minutes it can take. So just take note of that when you're running this command. I'm not going to run it. I'm going to hit Control-C because I already have Cabal and I don't want to wait 30 minutes. But for all of you, you should hit enter. So you build Cabal and all of its packages. So this is building and installing the Cardano node. Next, you need to take the newly built node and command line interface and install them into your home path /.local/bin. So we're going to use the following command once the Cabal build has completed. You're going to enter make dir to make a new directory in your home folder inside of .local, and it'll be called /bin. Then we are going to install Cardano node, the script, into that bin, and we're going to install Cardano CLI, command line interface, into the bin as well. So you can hit enter, and that is going to install the node and CLI into the bin. You can also check that you indeed have now Cardano node and Cardano CLI in your bin. Next up, we're going to export a variable so that the shell or terminal can recognize that Cardano node and Cardano CLI are global commands or environment variables. So we're going to use the following command: export path equals home /.local/bin at the path, and hit enter. You can also again check that you have this environment variable added to your environment variables with Vim. Next, we have to reload our shell profile so that we can use this new environment variable, which is just exporting all of the paths in the bin, which means we can access Cardano node and Cardano CLI. If you're on a bash shell, and the shell version is at the top of your terminal in the header. If you are on a bash shell, you use the command source home bash rc. If you are on a Z shell, you're going to use the command source home zshrc. That is going to reload the shell profile. So now in this terminal and in every terminal window, you can now use the Cardano CLI. You can type in Cardano CLI and see options for what you can do. You can also check your version that you're using. This will tell you the Cardano CLI version, the architecture, and the GHC version as well, and the Git repository hash. As well, you can check your version of Cardano Node, which you now also have installed. And you can check first that you have it with also a list of possible commands, and then you can check the version with Cardano-node-version. Again, it shows you the version, the architecture, GHC, and the Git repository. So the Cardano CLI is to interact with the Cardano blockchain via a command line. The Cardano node is to run a Cardano blockchain. So you can run a node that connects to the blockchain. So both of them are essential for developing for Cardano. So congratulations, everyone. If you can see your version, then at this stage, you have installed the Cardano CLI and Cardano node. Join me coming up next. We're going to learn how we can run the Cardano node on our computer. If you liked this video, then go to training.mammoethinteractive.com. We have tons more content on blockchain, web development, machine learning, and much more. We also have a membership for just $19 a month where you can get access to our 372 course bundle and counting.